Hey, Monica here. So I just wanted to hop on here and just go over how to bring awareness to your eating. So the biggest thing that I would highly recommend is looking at your food labels and figuring out where your calories are coming from and what macronutrient your foods fall into. We have our macronutrients of proteins, carbs, and fats. When you turn around and look at the nutrition label, you'll be able to see that. You'll see the calories at the top, then you'll see fats, then you'll see carbs, and you'll see protein at the very bottom. Now, in order to see what your food is more likely made of, that number will be increased. Go with this. The higher the number, that's the main source of fuel that it's giving you. So whether it's fats, proteins, carbs, the bigger number is going to be mainly what that food source is. Okay. All right, just because I'm a visual learner myself, I wanted to just give you this visual. So we're gonna be talking about tortillas. Tortillas is a carb source. Now, how would I know that if I wasn't a nutritionist or a personal trainer? So here, you're gonna be looking at this. So you got your calories, you got your total fat, okay? You got 1 gram of fat here, then you're gonna go down and you're gonna get to carbohydrates. This is gonna say, this says 16 grams of carbs, okay? Total carbs. And then you're gonna go down and see protein, and this is 1 gram. So from here, from the bigger number, or looking through at these three numbers, you got 1 gram, 16 grams, 1 gram of protein. I know this is backwards, but for the sake of the visual, you're gonna see this is mainly a carb source. So tortillas are gonna fall into a carb source. So now that you know the bigger number is mainly what your food is, you can say, oh, tortillas, carbs. Why are carbs good? Carbs are good because they give us energy. Our brains and our bodies like glucose. That's what they run off of. So you have to have a healthy balance and mixture of carbohydrates in your meals. All right, next we're gonna look at a fat source. So like I was saying, nuts. Nuts are really high in fats, and I'll just go ahead and show you. So you have your calories here. You've got your total fat listed first. Look at this. You've got 13 grams of fat in cashews. Then you're gonna go down, carbohydrates. Ooh, some nuts have 8 grams, so lower carbohydrates. And then you're gonna go to your protein, you got 5 grams. So at the end of it all, the biggest number here is going to be the fat, okay? Now you do have some sprinkled in benefits of carbs and protein, but these are this is a variety of different macronutrients that you are getting from these, which is why they're usually highly recommended for snacking, because you get a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, and a little bit of carbohydrate. Fats are really good for your joints. They're good for your mental health, hormones, sexual hormones, reproductive hormones, regulating hormones, joint support, things like that. So you need to have your fats in your diet. All right, and last thing is going to be, I just found some little pepperonis. This is a protein source. Now I know this is super tiny. These are really good like snacks, little things to eat, but looking at this one's gonna be harder to see because they made this clear. Total fat here is going to be 3.5 grams. So total carb here, if you can see that, that's 1 grams, and then your protein per serving size is 10 grams of protein. Now, proteins are really good for helping build muscle, not only helping build muscle if you're somebody that's working out, giving that muscle definition, but also for anybody that is just sedentary. Your muscles on a daily basis go through a breakdown, whether you are working out or not. So it is very important that you are still getting your protein in. Even you have to get your protein in. Protein is very important. This helps keep the muscle mass on your body, and it keeps you strong for a long period of time. Proteins are also good because they help you with any sort of like injury. If you are bleeding or something like that, you need proteins in order to heal wounds. So besides just having that muscle attribute for protein, there are really good benefits to protein just on a daily basis. Healing wounds, keeping our bodies regulated, blood, iron, things like that. You can start building mindfulness is just by looking at what you are eating and what macronutrient is it made out of. From there, you can start making better decisions on your foods. Now, there are differences too when it comes to foods that are low in glycemic index and high in glycemic index, which I'll go ahead and go over in a different video. But for the sake of just kind of building mindfulness, looking at your nutrition labels is going to be the best thing that you can do in order to see what you are actually eating. What is your food made out of? What macronutrient are you getting from this food? And if you are just beginning, the best thing that I would recommend from here, once you start looking at those, is just kind of writing down what you are eating. So when I first started my journey, I actually had a literal notebook and paper, or pen and paper. And at the end of the day, I'd write, okay, for breakfast, I had a banana, I had cereal, and I had milk. And then for lunch, I had a sandwich. And then for dinner, I had pasta. And what I had come to find at a very, very just beginning stage, when I actually figured out where and what those nutrients were that I was getting from my meals, I figured out that I was eating a lot of carbs without necessarily knowing that I was eating a lot of carbs. And this is where you can actually overconsume, because if you are just eating carbohydrates as your meal, or this is your main source of fuel, you are going to be hungry more often than not, because carbohydrates digest within 1 to 2 hours, whereas protein takes up to 3 to 4 hours to fully digest. So does fat. Fat takes longer to digest. So just be mindful of that. These are the reasons why it's so important to just learn what you're eating. Read the nutrition facts and just write down what you're eating. Don't necessarily worry about the calories just yet. When you are ready to figure out how to lose weight, maintain your weight, or grow, as in getting stronger and bigger, that is when you would need a personal trainer's help. But right now, at your beginning stages, the best thing that you can do is just learn what you're eating, what food sources you are eating, and figure out what your day normally consists of. So are you eating a lot of carbs in your day? Are you somebody that eats a lot of fats throughout their day? Are you somebody that maybe eats too much protein and doesn't get enough fats and carbs? Because that is possible. So highly recommend just looking at the nutrition labels and starting from there. And if you need help, definitely get a personal trainer or nutrition coach along by your side, because it's so important to have them be there to help inform you of the decisions and what food you're making, because there's so much information out there. Personal trainers, nutrition coaches, certified nutritionists, they know that at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be so complex. You can make small changes every day, maybe grab just a better food source and make a huge change in the long run. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And if you like it, definitely just like it, subscribe if you want to see something new, and feel free to message me, comment, and yeah, I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.